Uh, Good evening, everyone. Today is our week 8 of this graduate IT employability program, and as always, we are going to start by showing our outlines. And our today's outlines goes like this. We are going to have a recap on week 7. That is what we have covered for the last week. Then we are going to talk about text to column technique. Then we are going to talk about concatenate function. Then we are going to talk about left. Then we are going to talk about right. Then we are going to talk about mid. Then we are going to talk about length. Then we are going to talk about if. Then we are going to talk about if and. Then we are going to talk about if or. Then we are going to attend questions and answers. Okay, so recap on week 7. In week 7, we talk about these topics. We talk about specific percentage, where we talk about how you can extract a portion of data from a portion of data with respect to a given percentage in a large amount of data. We give example whereby you can say maybe 15% of so salary, or 13% of so salary, or something like that. Then we talk about self-formatting, where we talk about how you can format yourself to accept currency, or you can format yourself to accept the leading zeros, or you can in phone number, or the leading zeros in what do you call it, in account number, and the rest. Then we talk about minimum, where we talk about where we said it returns the minimum value in a given set of data. Then we also talk about maximum, where we said it returns the maximum value in a given set of data. Then we also talk about rank. We
Yan ku
also
na
talk,
zo ni baka rayuwa na haka ya kake haka ne ka an ce wai baka dawo bane ko mene wai menene kuma ka zo kana ce min
sorry, I'm supposed to
yanzu
mute
ya da yi
of you. Okay, good. Okay, so rank, I said it's just giving a hierarchy or position. If we choose to put it that way, it just position the list of records. Maybe you have first position, second position, third position, and what have you. Or maybe based on the salary, we want to see the highest earning, then the second highest earning, the third, up to the last one. So it will arrange them based on that. It will assign a number to them. Maybe the highest earning, it will give it 1, the second earning, it will give it 2, up to the last earning. Then the next thing is count, which counts the total number of cells that contains a number in it. Then we also talk about count A, which counts the total number of cells that contains uh, a record. That is the total number of cells that are not empty. We also talk about count blank, which counts the total number of cells that are empty. So before we proceed to the next class, as I told you, I always want us to be having an interactive session. So now we said count. It counts the total number of cells that contains a number, and count A counts the total number of cells that are not empty. Then count blank, it counts the total number of cells that contains what do you call it? That contains that is blank. So now let me ask you a question. What if I want to count the total number of cells that have alphabet, not numbers? I want to count the total number of cells that has an alphabet, not numbers. I gave you a challenge last time. I don't know if there is anybody that tried it. The total number of cells that contains an alphabet, not numbers. The cells that are not having numbers in them. Please, if there is any contribution, I want to see it in the comment section, or you can raise your hand. If there is any contribution, Is there any? Is there anyone that can try by removing count from count A? We can filter for that. No, we don't want to use filter, Abdul Rakib. We don't want to use filter. By removing count from count A, this one is almost on the right path. I want you to use formula. You are just using a statement. Use formula. How do we remove count from count A? Use for I'll write it in form of formula. In that case, we are going to use if function. We are not using if function. We are not using if function. So how do we do it? Aisha Yusuf Zulmi, you are on the way. Yeah. Any response? I don't know if we don't have any response. I think we are moving directly to the okay. Yeah, someone said count minus count A. If you said count minus count A, you are definitely going to have zero or negative value because it's count since count is counting the total number of cells that contains a number and count A is counting the total number of cells that are not empty. So count A is always greater than count if they are given the same range is always greater than or equals to count. Aha, Aisha, you are the one that give the clue, and that's the answer. The count A minus count. That's how you do it. Once you do it that way, it will give you total number of cells that contains an alphabet. So thank you very much for all your contribution, Miangwa, Isa Ahmad, and Aisha Tuzumi that got it right. All of you, thank you very much for your contribution. Now let's go directly to the topic of discussion today, which is concatenate, text to column, and the rest, as I've shown in the what do you call it uh in the in the schedules of activities we are going to treat. Please, can you see my screen? Okay. I believe you can see my screen. Let me just continue. So the first thing we are going to talk about is text to column. Let me have a data. Hold on, please. Let me get a data. Let me find a data. I want to get a data. Okay, good. Please, can you see my screen now? Okay. So now, this is the data I'm having. It's just a survey conducted by one of our interns. Yeah, from this university. So, let me just shift it. It good. Okay. So, this is the data. So you see from this data, let's say I want to get this in a separate column. I want to have a month in a separate column. I want to have a uh, day in a separate column. I want to have a year in a separate column, and I want to have a time in a separate column. So how am I going to do that? Initially, first of all, you have to create more columns, or you have to copy it and open the next another sheet, depending on what you think So the first thing you are going to do is select the whole, what do you call it? Select the whole range of data. Then you go to data. You see, this is the data tab. Then you go to text to column. So after you go to text to column, you select this delimited. It is already by default, it is in this delimited. So you just go to next. So when you go to this next, you see you have multiple options. You have semicolon, you have comma, you have space, and what have you. So you see the separated value, the delimited value we are using. I have to select others, then I will click on this slash. So once you click on this slash, you see uh, uh, it automatically separated itself. I will add with this space so that it will extract the time also. I will select the space so that it will extract the time also. You can select any delimiters you want. You can select as much as you want, maybe semicolon separated value. You will use what do you call it? You will use this comma when you are given a comma. There is a comma separated values that comes from PHP my admin that comes from my SQL. In that regard, you can use semicolon because they are all separated by a semicolon. So depending on what you are given on ground, you choose what you are going to use to separate it. So in our case, we are going to use backward slash. So I will just go to next. So I'll click on finish. So you see, it will show you that maybe this data, there might be a data inside what and this and that. You just say okay, you just select okay. So you see, it gave me this. Normally, it is not supposed to give me this, but the reason why it gave me this is text in date format. So I will change it to general. Let me change it to general. You can all of the data to general. So you see, once I change it, clear all this conditional formatting, clear, good. So you see, I've successfully separated. So now let me do it this way. I will say month, then I will say time. Then I will say, what is this? What do we call this? So I don't know what do you call it this. Okay, I'll just say AM or PM. For this time, we were having an issue. Let me change the format to time. See what it gave me. So that's how you do this thing, and you see you have automatically separated all the values into different. We separated all the values into separately month, day, and year and time. So that's how you convert this. That's how you separate your value. Okay, so someone is, let me repeat the procedure. Someone said I should zoom. Am I zooming in or out? Okay. Please, can you see it now? Let me repeat the procedure. Let me repeat the procedure. I don't know, maybe you might be confused because we are using a big data, but as of now, you are supposed to repeat the procedure. I will repeat it all. Yeah, so everyone will understand what we have done. I want to maintain the raw data. This is the raw data. Let me copy the raw data to raw data. Paste. Yeah, so that everyone can see what I will do. Good. This is the data. So now we want to separate this. Maybe when you are given the data, they ask you to separate month, day, and year. Sorry, month, day, year, and time separately. Maybe they want you to separate column. They want the month to be in a separate column, and they want the year to be in a separate column. So now what you should do, first, you have to create more columns. You have to create more columns. So I will just click on insert again. You see, I've created another column. I'll be creating another more and more columns. They are short columns else or online. So we have created multiple columns. I think this columns are okay for us. Let's say this one is for month, this is one is for year, and this one is for time, then this one is for AM and PM. Good. So now let me copy this. Maybe let me copy it. Then good. So you see, I pasted what do you call it? Data, because whenever you don't delete it until everything is perfectly okay. Let me remove this conditional formatting. Hold on, please. Okay. I want to remove the conditional formatting. Sorry, please. Clear root. Good. So this is the data. Now I want my month to be somewhere here. I want that to be somewhere here. I think I have a message. Good. Okay. So then I want my time to be somewhere here. I want my time to be somewhere here. Then AM/PM to be somewhere here. Good. So now what I will do, and I will select the whole column. Then I will come to this data. I will select the data to select it. Then after selecting it, you will see we have two options. We have delimited, we have fixed width. You can select any of them based on what you have, but in a very rare case, this one is the one that you will be adjusting based on the width of the data. Maybe you have them in the same, they don't have uniform delimited, but they have the same width. So you select the fixed width, but we don't normally use it in most cases, but there are some places that we actually use it. The one that we normally use that we mostly use is delimited. You see, so for this delimited, we have tab. Tab is supposed to be constant because once you move to the next column, next row, it's that you have to select this tab whenever you are doing text to column. Then semicolon based on the data you have on ground. You see, for the data I have on ground, I need slash. You understand? I need slash. So I will select others, then I will write the slash because I don't have it in the options I'm having here. So then I also need space because you see my time is not separated. My time is not separated with here, so I need it. I want it to be separated with here. So you see, I have selected this also. Then I'll just click on next like this. Then I'll just click on finish. So you see, it's warning me that there is data that is already placed. I'll just click on OK. So it will replace it automatically. So you see, this is how the data looks in date format. You understand? They are custom in a date format. So I want to change them to what? I want to change them to general. Once I change them to general, they will be more readable. Let me change them to general. They are now readable. This is 11th, that's November, while this one is on 25th November 2024. So now based on, let me change this one also to time. Let me change it to time. So once I change it to, you have your month, you have your day here, you have this. Good. So that's for text to column. We took very long time for this text to column. So let's quickly move to so there you are complaining that you cannot see the features. I don't know why. I'm sharing my screen also, so I don't know why you cannot see the features. Maybe you are joining with phone, like this one, Xiaomi. You are using with phone. You are using phone. It's not necessarily like you, but anyways, you will see it in the video. Maybe if the videos is released, you will see it in the video. Maybe you are using phone, that's why you are not seeing the entire screen. But let me reshare it again. Let me reshare it again. Okay, so now I've shared it again. If you can see it, I think the problem is from your phones or the laptops you are using. I don't know if you can see it now. Can you see it now? Please, can you see it now? Okay. Sorry, please. So you will see the videos. Maybe in the videos you will see it. I believe in the videos. If I release if the videos are released, you will see it clearly. The next technique we are going to talk about, or formula we are going to talk about, is concatenate function. So now for concatenate function is margin. You understand? Maybe you want to merge two or three things together. You want to merge two or three columns together, like years and month. You understand? Let's say I want to merge the years and month. Okay, let me change it to general. Let me change it to general. So for concatenate, all I will say is just is equals to, then I will say concatenate. We have concat and concatenate, and they are doing the same. The next thing you will say is, maybe if you want to start with the year, you will say year like this. Or okay, as I was saying, for the concat is merging two or more columns, or it's merging the data. Whenever you have the data, you want to merge it, so you have to use concat function. You can merge column and column, you can merge column and data, you can merge whatsoever you want with whatsoever you want in a given column. For this one now, let me just say, let's say we have this. You see, for this question, this is the personal data. I don't want to use mail address. Let me use serial number. Let's like this. IES to all the numbers to uh, uh, like this, like this. This is equals to concat. But when I'm writing the gist, I'll have to write it in quotes like this. Then I'll say dash. I wrote it in double quotes. Then I will say comma. You want this? Then I will hit enter. So you see, it gave me back down. You see, it gave me gist. Another way, you can merge. You can that I said you can match a column with a given text. The text can be Yeah, the text can be before or after, depending on how you want it to be. So that's for concat. Then the next thing, I believe you all understand concat, and I believe we do justice to this concat function. So the next thing after concat, let's see. Let's go back to our slide and see what is the next thing after concat. Yeah, the next thing after concat is left. You understand? The next thing after concat is left. So for this left, also, let me use this throughout the program or throughout for today. So for the left is extracting the total number. Is extracting a given number from a range of data or from a string in a cell. You understand? Maybe I want to extract 5 letters or 6 letters from that is messy. I don't know if you understand it. Yeah, I believe you understand. Let me remove the filter. Let me remove the filter. Okay. AM and PM only. I want to extract this AM and PM only. So I will use is equals to, sorry, not this 1132. That is the only thing that's what I want to extract. So all I will say is equal, I will just say is the cell. Do you understand? Then I will say 3, 4, 5. You see it's 5 characters. So I will say 5 left characters. Let me convert it to normal text. Let me convert this one. Then here is custom this the main data and the timestamp. Let me use this data that is usage. Okay, let me not custom code. So now I want to extract the first two character the first two characters in this list. So all I will say is equals to left like this. We'll say two. So you see, it gave me 45. How could this be possible? 45 is not supposed to be for the general. Okay. So replace it. Is the problem is the cell formatting. Let me just, I think I will use, let's say, let me just use 001 like this. So, now I want the first two characters here, the first two characters in this cell. I want in the admission number system is showing the year you've entered the university. So let me just say this one is 151, this one is 16, change it to 17 here, like this. Now it gave me 15. You see, as it always is extracting the first two letters. You see this one that started with 17, it just gave me the 17. You understand? It's showing when they started. So that's for left. It's always extracting the first first two letters or three letters, depending on what you are, which is A2 is the cell reference. Span the two that maybe you need two characters. If you need five, you say five, it will give you the first five characters. What if you need 10 continuously, depending on what you want. So that is for left, and the same thing applicable for right. If you want the last two characters, all you have to do is just to say is equals to right, like this. Then you select this cell, the last two characters. 01 is the last two characters. Last 001, 0005. Let me change this one on what we inserted. So that is for left, and for right. And is what mid. The mid is selecting the is selecting for is started from this context. When we said middle, we mean anything that is first or last. So our middle started from this 8 up to this 0. It can take that's what we call middle in this context. So now if you are writing the formula, you will say is equals to, then you write x like this, then you say comma, then you select where you want to start. You understand? You select where you want to start. Maybe you want to start from 2, comma, then you select the total number of characters you want to return. Maybe I want to return 5 characters. So it will start from 2, then you close the bracket. It will say 1, stop from 13, which is 5, 1, 0, 1, 3. So that's how you extract the some characters at the middle of the text. So this is not applicable to only account, admission number. It's applicable to admission number, account number, phone number, names, everything that has to do with every cell that is not empty. You can extract anything from it depending on how you want it. So that is for the mid. Then that's what it gave you. So that's for mid. Then the next thing after mid is len. Len. So for this len is counting the total number of characters that are in the cell, that are in a given cell. Like 43 up to the last. I want to know the total number. I want to know the total number. It's just to say len like this. Then I'll open the bracket, then I'll click on in numbers. So this is saying that the characters is 10 numbers. So mostly you see the admission numbers in the university, in these universities, they are 10 numbers. Mostly the numbers are 10. So let's say for university, if the accounting the admission number is 10, once you test and it's okay. But if it is not up to 10, like now, let me just say you deleted one character or you add something, the admission number is 8 and you are expecting to have at least the minimum of 10 characters in the admission number. The same thing applicable to account number or phone number. They are all, maybe they have a specific length that you are expecting them to have. So to count the total number. So if the total number is not tally with what we are expecting to have, then the account number will get. Then after you write the formula, you drag it down. So that's after having done with the length, the next formula we are going to talk about is if. If. So this if statement is a key important. It's very important in Excel. The if statement, this to avoid confusion. Let me get rid of all these ones of a phone number. Let's say we are testing the validity of a phone number. So if the phone number is, or if the admission number is not up to 10, we'll say invalid admission number. But if it is equals to 10, I will say the admission number is valid. That's if, then I'll open the bracket, then this is my logical test. This is what I'm testing. That is B2. So if B2 is greater than, if B2 is equals to 10, then I will say else I will say invalid, enter like this. So you see it's saying invalid admission number because the admission number is 8, is saying invalid admission number. But once the admission number is 10, it will say valid admission number. Let me drag the rest and see. So you see the other ones are saying a valid admission number. 50, you see it automatically gave me equals to 10. Once the admission number is not equals to 10, it will say invalid admission number. So that's how you test the if statement. If you compare it, if what you have is not true, if what you are comparing is not true, it will say it will return true, it will turn false, turn true statement. The first one is true statement, which is valid admission number, while the second one which have the comma after it is the false statement, um, which is invalid admission number. Is for equal sign. Now let's do for what do you call it? Let's do for greater than sign. Let's do for greater than sign. Develop a template that if the admission number is too much, the length is too much. So I would say if B3 is greater than 10, comma, then it will return the admission number length is too much. Okay, like this. Then I'll hit enter. So for this one, okay, because the admission number is 10, let me just say if the length is greater than 10, it will say the admission number length is too much. So you see, this if statement is applicable to almost everything. It's applicable to school, it's applicable to passing of JAM result, it's applicable to passing of WAEC, it's applicable to passing of NECO and what have you. There is nested if also, but I don't want us to get more confused. I think this if statement is supposed to be 1 week program. It's supposed to be 1 week program. We are going to combine if nested with and if o in the same week. That maybe in the next week we are going to talk about it, because I don't want us to get confused. I think let's stop here. This is just an introduction about an if statement, where it will return true if it is true, and it will return a false message if the condition did not satisfy. Section. Please, is there any question? I'm waiting for the question. Is there any question? So I think with the absence of any question, yeah, the last week video will be released by God grace. It will be released together with this one by God grace. I will make sure it's released with this one. So with the absence of any question, I think we will call it a day. Thank you very much for listening, and have a wonderful night.